St. Louis, Missouri, the gateway to the great American West and the home of Anheuser-Busch and the undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser. Tonight, Top Rank Incorporated and Budweiser present professional boxing for your entertainment. All these bouts are sanctioned by the Missouri Office of Athletics, Executive Director Helen Henderson, Division Director Greg Hartley, Administrative Inspector Jim Hall, Ringside Supervisor Merle Taylor. The three judges will be Craig Aldridge, Rich Daniels, and Chuck Finch, timekeeper Ed Holly, and counting for the knockdown seconds, Sam Risk, our chief ringside physician, Dr. Sam Trifoletti. And now man your battle stations. This bout is scheduled for 10 rounds. In the light heavyweight division, the referee is Chuck Kurlagan. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the blue trunks with gold trim, he weighs an even 169 pounds, originally from Nigeria, now fighting out of Riverside, California. His professional record, 14 victories against 6 defeats and 1 draw, 9 of those 14 victories by KO. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Okoro. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with white letters. He weighs in at an even 174 pounds. He's from St. Louis, Missouri. His professional record, 10 victories, only 2 defeats, 6 big KOs, ranked number 12 in the world by the IBF. Introducing Art Zorro Jimmerson.
All right, gentlemen, we went through the instructions this morning. I don't think it's necessary to go any further. All right. Get it on.
So it is Art Jimmerson, and there is a look at Jerry Okoro. He stepped in here at the last minute to fight Jimmerson. There's a look at Jimmerson. Jimmerson on a bit of a roll. He's won 5 fights in a row since he took a year and a half off, actually.
Had some managerial troubles, and now he's got a team behind him here in St. Louis and is doing quite well, as you said, a 5-fight winning streak.
Okoro is a guy who will bang you with both hands, basically a boxer. He said he came here to win. He just didn't come here to be a body standing in front of Jimmerson.
He's showing us that right off the bat.
Good left hook by Jimmerson. Okoro was responsible for young Dick Tigers coming to the United States from Nigeria.
Boxer we had on recently in a losing effort against Javier Suazo. Of course, Okoro, the 1984 bronze medalist at 160 pounds in the Olympics. So he's a good fighter.
Talking to him this afternoon, he was saying one of the big thrills he's had in sports is meeting John McEnroe, who actually came to Nigeria for a tennis exhibition.
Oh, punch out, punch out, punch out.
Okoro really making an effort to go to the body of Jimmerson. And Art is letting him do that. Maybe wanting to see what he has to offer. Nice double left hook by Jimmerson.
Okoro punching combinations pretty well here.
He is landing a lot. Some of those are blocked by Art Jimmerson, but Jimmerson, as people said earlier today, that he feels he's a very good boxer, but we won't see that tonight because they want a knockout. They want to be impressive.
And they realize they have a national television audience here, so they want to showcase their man in the best possible light. And they feel the best possible light is to go out there and try to bang.
And I'll tell you, I think he was hurt by the left hook Okoro hit him with. They traded left hooks, and Okoro seemed to get there with a little bit more force. But Jimmerson has a good hook himself, and that just set up those right hands. This is going to be a very entertaining bout.
I think so. If the first round is any indication.
And it's a small ring, Barry, so there's not a lot of room for boxers to maneuver.
Should mention that 16-foot ring, very small ring.
Which could hurt Lois Howard when he fights Lois Santana because he wants to move and box a little bit more.
So an entertaining first round here in this light heavyweight fight between Art Jimmerson, he's in the black trunks with his back to you, and Jerry Okoro of Nigeria. We come down toward the end of the first round. You pick your winner. We'll be back.
In his gloves, and it was basically a pretty good round for Okoro.
Okoro staying up tempo here. Jimmerson had the heavier punches, but Okoro was the more active in the first round. And it remains that way here in the second round.
Jimmerson, I'm sorry, Barry. Jimmerson really came on well toward the end of that last round, and he started to do a couple of different things. He started to jab more, started to double with the left hook, and that was opening up a few things for him. It's a pretty neat facility here, this USS Admiral.
Very nice.
It has the restaurants and everything on it. Fun. I always wanted to star in Showboat, so I think this is as close as I'm going to get,
That's
I think.
Right. It's the only fight I've ever done. I had to take Dramamine for it.
He did this little swing back and forth. They're both wanting to fight this fight at short range, and it's making for an interesting matchup because they're both doing a lot of the same things.
It's always interesting to me, and again, talking with Jimmerson's people, that they feel they have to change their fighter style to make them a good television fighter. And you keep seeing that more and more.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. I don't know. I'm not sure I'd ever do that. If a guy does something well, I think the classic case of all time of that is Michael Nunn. They didn't panic when Michael Nunn boxed and did his thing, and some people didn't like it, and he got booed occasionally. They knew that eventually he'd settle down enough so that he would be able to be pleasing and win a title, and that's exactly what happened.
There's a lead right hand by Jimmerson. That wasn't bad. Jimmerson's people said what they want him to do is double up with the left hand and then come with the right hand to the body. He did that on occasion in the first round. He has not been able to do it here in round two.
Yeah, I think the jab is the key for him in this bout because if he can just continue to use that jab, he'll open lots of things up. I think he can land the jab against Okoro. There's the left hook from Jimmerson.
Lives in Riverside, California now. Jimmerson kind of aimed that right hand that time. Getting down to the 15-second mark in round number two. Still a little to choose between these two. Jimmerson opens up. Good right hand by him. So a little flurry here at the end of round number two for Art Jimmerson, hometown, St. Louis.
Combination punching, and there you see he finishes off a four-punch combination with the straight right hand that Barry alluded to earlier.
So round number three now. Okoro, substitution for Frankie Swindell, holding his own against Art Jimmerson. Okoro starts the rounds a little bit quicker, and Jimmerson ends them quicker. That was a pretty good right hand that got through the gloves of Jimmerson by Okoro. Now let's take a look at your scorecard. Tough fight to score.
First round I gave by a very narrow margin to Okoro. The second round I didn't have too much trouble giving to Jimmerson.
And Okoro finding an open spot between the gloves of Jimmerson with the right hand.
Stop punch. Keep the punches up.
There was an uppercut that got in by Jimmerson. Jimmerson scoring a little bit more consistently now.
He is throwing his punches in combination more. Art is a little bit of an arm puncher, and that hurts him in the power department. But it's an accumulation of punches that will work, as we saw in the bout against Lenny LaPaglia. Those highlights.
Of course, LaPaglia had one basic problem. He forgot to keep his arms up.
Wow, that's very strange. I remember when that fight happened, people calling me from New York, and we've had LaPaglia on before, and he's put on some wonderful shows on ESPN. I don't know what he was doing in that bout. But Art Jimmerson happy to take the advantage of it. I guess LaPaglia thought Jimmerson would tire himself out. The left hook is there for Jimmerson when Okoro goes downstairs with his right hand. And the jab, when Jimmerson jabs, Barry, he almost can't lose this fight because Okoro's right there to be hit with the jab, and it sets things up. if, as they say, Art Jimmerson has these boxing skills, I don't know why he wouldn't use them in this fight. Just a smidge of lateral movement and the jab is all it would take here to completely dominate this fight.
Mouthpiece of Okoro fell out. And Jimmerson seems to lean on him a little bit more than he has to. There was a right hand by Okoro, and that definitely stunned Jimmerson.
It hurt him.
Jimmerson is still hurt.
And good body work by Okoro. And there you see why it was wrong for Jimmerson to lay in there. He was hit pulling out.
Jimmerson now tries to fight back. And ends with a flurry, but was clearly hurt.
In a round he otherwise was doing well in.
Careless. Careless. Breathe deep. Breathe deep. Breathe deep. You're waiting too long inside, Arthur. You got to work. You got to shorten up on that left hook. Dig that left hook instead of digging it down here. Dig it for here. Right there in his chest. Up.
Art Jimmerson got nailed with that right hand to the ear. What they termed carelessness. And then he got nailed with a very good left hook. So Art was in some trouble here. Was able to gather himself, and for the end of the round, he came back with some excellent shots like that uppercut. And there's the hook. So you see the combination punching of Jimmerson. It's impressive. And that man Okoro found out about it.
Jimmerson was knocked out once in his career back in 1986, but as we told you, shortly after that fight, he just laid off for about a year and a half because of what he called management problems. He got back in the ring in January of this year, and since that time has won 5 fights in a row.
His jab is very underused in this bout, and he has a decent jab. One thing Jerry Okoro has started to do that is very impressive is what I was just going to say, the body work. He's really working the body very well as Jimmerson. He started early with it, abandoned it for a round or so, and now he's back to it.
I don't know if we really expected Okoro to brawl quite as much as he is, but it looks as though he wants to get Jimmerson into a street fight.
I think he feels his strength on the inside would carry him through. He's physically a little bit stronger. Doesn't necessarily hit harder, but physically he might be able to push Jimmerson around a little bit. Coming in off a draw to Willie Wilson is Okoro. He felt he won that fight. Willie's a good boxer out of the San Diego stable of Joe Sayadovich. With Lupe Aquino and the Norris boys, Orlin and Terry.
All right, stop punching, guys. Stop punching. Yep.
There was another right hand that got in over the left of Jimmerson.
Laying on the inside like that, Jimmerson is taking some good combinations from Okoro, and Jerry is really starting to throw in combinations. A little different than the first couple rounds.
I would think, again, having a draw, as he did in his last fight, kind of gets you pumped up. The next time, you can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes, and oftentimes it'll turn a fighter around.
Well, he knows he needs to do more to win. And, you know, Jerry Okoro knows he's fighting in St. Louis, which is the hometown of Jimmerson, and knows he's got to go out and make things happen.
The crowd not really a factor in this fight either.
No, they're very quiet.
Yeah, it's more like a jury.
I mean, I assume they're a little more, I guess we assume that they're pumped up for Lewis Howard, who's local, but Art Jimmerson also a popular local figure here. And it's an action bout, so you'd think they would be a little more into it.
10 seconds remaining here in round number 4, and again, it's a fight that still is very much up for grabs. Art Jimmerson and Jerry Okoro. The 5th round, we're scheduled at heavyweights. Jerry Okoro, Riverside, California, by way of Bendel, Nigeria. Father is a police commissioner. Mother, an English teacher. Al, how do you see this one?
Dead even. I gave Okoro the last round. I have him winning 2 and Jimmerson winning 2, so it's 38-38.
Fighting like a man who has had only 12 fights. Okoro fighting like a more experienced fighter, which he is.
Although Jimmerson too had a good amateur career. Won the National Golden Gloves in 1983. He won it. Lost to Virgil Hill in the quarterfinals of the Olympic trials. Or these men might have faced each other in the Olympics. But Art doesn't have quite as much professional experience as Okoro, as you mentioned. Now Jimmerson's starting to go down to the body a little bit, something they want him to do. But I think that if he looks back at this bout, and if
there's a right hand there by Jimmerson.
If Art Jimmerson should by some chance happen to lose this fight, he can look back at this and find one very good reason why he did, and that is he just wouldn't jab. And he wouldn't stay on the outside and pinpoint his punches.
Jimmerson doing a little bit of holding here. At the count of 8, but not on steady legs here. Combination again by Jimmerson, who now tries to put him away. He's still in trouble.
And I'm telling you, if he would use the jab as a rangefinder, he would be able to hit him a lot easier here.
Okoro trying to fight back.
And Okoro just landed an excellent left hook. So Art Jimmerson a little anxious.
Okoro is still a little bit stiff-legged.
Well, that one went a little low by Jimmerson. Jerry Okoro looks like he might weather this storm.
Yes, he does. Jimmerson punching wildly here.
Because he wouldn't use the jab to set those punches up.
So Okoro gets through the knockout and actually was punching harder at the end of the round.
Look, you're sitting back relaxing.
Fight
down, fight down.
Get your knife back.
You're sitting back relaxing, okay? Put your hands down. Sitting back relaxing, you got to go on and work with this man, all right? In the inside, go ahead and work that body. On the outside, use your jab, all right? Let this chump beat you, man. What's wrong with you? Huh? Open your mouth.
Well, Art Jimmerson was able to land a left hook here, landed the right, and then came with a very good left hook to the jaw. The left hook had been a good weapon for him earlier, remember, and got in a half of a free shot there as Okoro was going down. The right started it, and then that good left hook to the jaw, and kind of a delayed reaction by Okoro.
Put down on that mouthpiece and go to work.
And Okoro's corner exhorting him to just go to work. Don't let this, quote, chump beat you.
Technical expertise at its best in the corner.
That's right. That's right. All I know is one of those chumps is hitting him.
There's advice you can put to use when you get out there, huh?
Okoro, good right hand. Jimmerson stepped into that right.
Now, what Jerry Okoro can do and is doing is to close the distance, get inside, and throw punches. He doesn't want to be in the outside. He wants to be in the inside fighting off Jimmerson's chest. And most of the time he's been able to do that because Jimmerson has allowed him to do it.
Jimmerson is effective when he uses that jab, but he just doesn't use it.
It's interesting to me, and you know, I think they've urged him to do it. He's a great combination puncher. The combinations usually start off the jab. Well, he's a good combination puncher. Great might be overstating it.
There's a look at your scorecard, Al, with Jimmerson in the lead now.
Yeah, I had a dead even coming into this round, but I made it a 2-point round because of the knockdown. He's moving ahead, but Jerry Okoro so far is having a pretty good 6th round. And he discovers his jab, which they urged him to use in the corner.
Yes, they did.
Jimmerson, ranked 12th by the IBF, is a light heavyweight kind of on the precipice. He feels getting right in the thick of things, but he's getting all he could want from Jerry Okoro right now.
It's got a little bit more of a wrestling match.
I'll tell you what, though, Jerry Okoro's got himself right back into this bout, though. He's had a pretty good 6th round, especially considering the trouble he was in the 5th.
Jimmerson looks as though he's slow to step here. Now, it could be oftentimes fighters will just kind of take a blow. Jimmerson breathing through his mouth a little bit here, and as you mentioned, this has been a good comeback round for Okoro.
Jerry Okoro with a good comeback round in the 6th. Look at the combination punching on the inside against Jimmerson. Accurate punching as well.
Yeah, that was a good round considering he had been down the round before.
Well, actually, he did 2 things. He used his jab on the outside, and when he was on the inside, he was ripping shots to the body and the head.
This is a big round for Jimmerson here. He's going to have to take control again if he's going to maintain what on your card at least is a very close lead.
I have him just narrowly ahead by 1 point. There's the right by Jimmerson. That's been absent.
And it was almost as much a case of Okoro walking into it than Jimmerson really scoring with it.
Chuck Curligan, the referee, is taking kind of a laissez-faire attitude right now about these guys when they're on the inside. He's not imposing his will too much on this bout, which, after what we've seen in amateur boxing, the Olympics in the last week or so, might be refreshing.
That's true.
If I see one more caution or warning, I think I'm going to, I won't tell you what I'm going to do. Leave that to your imagination. Jimmerson complaining a little bit about being held, but you know, he's putting himself in a position to let that happen. He's walking right in and saying, I'm going to come into your office, Jerry Okoro, and fight this fight the way you want it.
Saying, I'm going to come into your office and use the couch.
Yeah, really.
Jimmerson still looks like a tired fighter.
He is, I think, a little bit fatigued, but now Okoro himself hasn't thrown that many punches in this round.
Yeah, that's true.
Okoro boxing. Both men doing a lot of body work in this round. And ultimately, that's almost going to be the way you're going to have to decide this round, I think, unless something outrageously dramatic happens in this last minute.
Step back.
Jimmerson landing a lot of body punches. I mean, a lot in this round. They're not tremendous in authority, but they're all getting there, and they're landing cleanly, a lot of them. Some are landing low.
Okoro trying to just push his man away and score with the left hand once he does. Coming down toward the end of round number 7 here, and the pace has slowed considerably in this fight. We're on the SS Admiral in St. Louis.
In the body work might be the way this round is decided. Jimmerson with some good body work in the 7th round, and that's why I ended up giving him that round.
Round number 8, and you really have the distinct feeling that this could come down to who is in the best condition.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. We saw Jimmerson with a little bit of a, looked like a fatigue problem at the beginning of that round, but then he came on strong.
There's a good combination by Jimmerson, who actually got the best of that exchange.
Okoro was not very selective with those punches. They looked flashy, but there wasn't much there, really. And he didn't land too much and really took a counter punch for his trouble because he was a little over-aggressive. And Okoro's keeping his left hand very low. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Jimmerson drop in that right hand. He's trying.
Jimmerson using the jab a little bit more in this round.
Well, you know, we harped on it earlier, and we get off saying it because otherwise it would be redundant, but that's what's missing here tonight for our Jimmerson. Even if he wins this fight, which he could well, his jab is missing. He left it home, and it's a weapon that would help him tonight. It would help him a lot. Instead of standing in there for these kind of exchanges, he could be jabbing his way in and throwing the straight right hand from long range. It would be very effective for him.
This is round number 8, going 10. Light heavyweights, although Okoro came in here at 169, gives away 5 pounds to Jimmerson.
Gary Okoro could easily fight at the new super middleweight level. He's complaining, Okoro, about something. Now, what's this?
I'm not sure.
There's no standing 8 count in Missouri, so why would he be counting now? We were told there's no standing 8 count. That's what we're told.
Unless a man is against the ropes and
he wasn't
unable to fall down. That's right.
He just decided that he complained to the referee, and so then the referee saw him stop and decided he was going to give him a standing 8 count. I don't know what that was about.
I have no idea, but he was clearly not hurt.
That's interesting. Now, how do you mark that? I guess you almost have to mark it as if it's a knockdown.
I don't think I've ever seen that, actually. Jimmerson now trying to open up a little bit on Okoro with 15 seconds left in the round, but I don't really believe Okoro was hurt at all.
I don't think he was hurt. And I was reminded here that they had some preliminary bouts before we went in the air, and they started calling standing 8 counts there also. So somebody's confused.
Well, the end of the round, and that's got to make the judges confused. It certainly has us confused.